Dumelang everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. To those of you who had subscribed before and to the new subscribers, also to you guys, welcome. I hope we're going to have an amazing journey together on this platform. I go by the name of Jade or Kuki, whichever way you want to call me, ne? Have at it. I really am chilled with that. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to give a tutorial on how to draw my brows. The reason is I've been hearing people asking me, Cookie or Jade, how do you draw your brows? You always look so pretty. Where do you get the time? And all these things. And I also happen to have people tell me, Hore, they think or believe Hore makeup is taxing, it's time consuming. So what time do you wake up? Otuhaka for so that you can get your face done so well and all these things. And in my head I'm like, not even. And most of the time people don't even believe me. Ne? No, I don't even wake up that early. It is time consuming, but not so time consuming. So you guys might notice a bit of an ulcer on my tongue. But when we write anything that's oral health related, they would know. Yeah. So please don't fixate on that. And then able telling good yo bathong why what. I think it's a reaction to whatever it is. That's why I'm also saying horoki flu and whatnot. Apparently it's a sign of stress. I get stress, but also I cannot be stressed because I'm a student, right? And I cannot chill it. That's the other stress that I have. I'm kidding, guys. So yeah, I have an ulcer on my tongue, and usually it's called a geographic tongue, especially if it's chronic and whatever. But mine is not, so it comes from time to time. Maybe one day soon we'll have a discussion around why do people get these things, and you just don't know what it is, and you're like stressing and like, oh, what is it on my tongue? What if it falls off? Nothing like that is going to happen. So yes, like I was saying today, I'm only gonna give a tutorial of how to draw brows, and also I'm not going to do my whole face, ne? I'm just going to do my brows, but I'm going to insert a picture at the end that shows or illustrates how my full face beat, if it's called a face beat, looks at the end of the day if I decide to do a full-on makeup. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm first going to show you what you need and then get on to it, right? So what I usually use nake a black opal pro concealer. I use a number 3 because this is my shade. That's the reason why. And please, when you buy this thing, buy something for a fact or shade ya how, so that it's kafitla ya umakatsa. Imagine I get a yellow and then look at my face. I'm very pigmented, so this works wonders for me. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this thing, but what I'm going to do is at the end of the video I'll insert a picture of all these things that I use, so that you can get to see them clearly, né? The other thing that I use is a Yardley pressed powder, which is written caramelized because this is the shade for my face. The other thing that I have here is my eyeliner, and I use a dark brown eyeliner simply because I don't like how a black eyeliner looks more brown. It looks very dark and it's just somehow. So I prefer a dark brown one. It looks better for me. The other thing that I have is this flat brush, yeah, concealer, ne? The reason why I use a flat brush like this one is because it just makes your life easier. When you're supposed to have that perfect line underneath, that perfect line mokodim, this works wonders as opposed to other brushes that are fake and whatnot, right? That's the reason why I works with this brush, ne? And then instead of using a spoolie, I use a toothbrush. The reason is they do the exact same job. I did not difference. Whenever I use this or a spoolie, it's just the same thing. People sometimes prefer using a spoolie, especially for beginners. They usually tell you use a spoolie and blah blah blah. Now for me, this works wonders. And also, I think I've told you before, I'm very student efficient. So if there's anything I can reuse, I'm definitely for that. So that's the reason why I use a brush like this. This is where we'll start, right? Oh yes, before I forget, I also have what is the thing? A beauty blender, which I'm going to be using so that I get my brows in perfect shape, ne? So what you do with the beauty blender, just make it a bit damp so that it's not too dry. When it's too dry, I feel like it does not disperse the concealer correctly. So if it's a bit damp, it makes your life a lot easier. So let's get on to it. Also just remember that when you're drawing your boundaries with the eyeliner, it has to be sharp. You know, you can't be drawing a boundary a blunt tip, yeah, eyeliner, because they don't come out as well. As you're drawing, of course, it's going to be blunted out, but at least by the time the boundaries are how I get. So that's the reason why I'm saying this has to be sharp, ne? So let's start. What I'm going to first do is brush my brows nicely. Look, the other thing that I forgot to mention is that when you're drawing your brows, it's easier to get them very nice if you tweeze them, or at least shape them up to the shape that you feel comfortable and whatnot. Because if you are like me, onani bomuriri, like around there, and then you have to put on your concealer, it makes it a bit difficult. So I would really advocate that you at least shape your brows nicely, so that we or pencil how you and also your concealer or right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is brush them up like that, both sides. Brush them up like that. Then after get a brusher up, I know the shape that I want, or rather I know the shape of my brows, ne? So more demo, I brush them in a bit, so that when I draw, I don't have any problems, ne? So I brush them in a bit like that, right? And then when that, wait, like that, right? And then when that is done, I then go in with my pencil. I make my lines. It's gonna be very difficult. I prefer to draw the brow so I don't know how this is gonna go. Let's hope it goes well. So guys, I don't use that technique and whatnot, because honestly I don't know how to do that. I've never taught myself how to do that. So I prefer the easiest way possible, ne? And then I'm also gonna make a line that side. So you know where your brows start, I get. That's where you're going to start with these lines. This one, it's a bit curved. I'm struggling, Shem, because I prefer drawing these things gamely. And then here. So I always prefer drawing underneath Belene. It really helps me know where to stop, how to also draw the upper part of my brows, ne? Right, so when you draw your upper part of your brows, you don't start there, ne? Because you want a nice finish in between. So you don't start there where you started. Okay, this one is a bit low. It's a bit back, sorry. So you don't start there, ne? So what I usually do is I give myself a bit of space there, a few millimeters, then gitomamo. Do you see what I'm doing? Gitomamo, and I make a straight line just at the brink of my brows molding. And then with me, there's a corner here, naturally so. There's a corner here. So from that corner, I'm going to take it down, right? Like that. And then when I take it down, it merges with the line. And then this side as well, get a bit away, right? Make a straight line like that. Then there's my corner. Then I drop that line and merge it with the first line, so that you get that sharpness, ne? So this is what it's supposed to look like after you've drawn your boundaries and all that, ne? And then when you're done, if you wanna, let's just bring it closer, neta biki, this side as well. Right. And then when you're done doing that, what I do is then I shade in. And then ke thoma ko morago, ne? Because my pencil is still a bit sharpish. So I shade in there. And the side as well. I shade in the side as well. The thicker part ke tlo ira when my pencil is blunt, ne? That way it won't bother or have any effect on the boundaries that I've drawn already, right? Okay, so when I color in, ne, this big portion, I color it the same way I comb my or brush my brows, ne? In that manner, the way you brush your brows. Color it nicely the way you brush your brows. Also remember, when you're coloring, guys, or rather when you're shading in, ne, you shade up until the end. How stop like you shade up until there. You don't stop there. The reason why you don't draw the line all the way from there, we don't want it looking like a box of some sort. Ne? So I'm going to shade in there. Shade in, shade in, shade in. Shade in, shade in, shade in. Right. That one. What happens, ne? If you draw like that brow from here to there, you'll end up with this, ne? And it's difficult to remove, I think. So, but with the concealer, as and when you're drawing, it makes it easier. Let's go. Everything is going to come together. This looks very messy. Honestly, today, Shem, I'm not at my prime. But anyway, so what I do with the concealer is this one of mine has a brush in it, but I told you I get the brush a thick, ne? It just makes my life very difficult. Let's add a bit more. So here's what I do. So that I can be able to pick it nicely with my concealing brush. Okay? But before we do that, we're supposed to comb this nicely again. The reason why we're combing it again nicely is so that it can be dispersed properly. Ne? We don't want to be looking like clowns and all that. So you just draw it nicely, disperse it nicely, disperse it nicely, and then put the hair back. Ne? Then after that, let's say your concealing brush, you apply properly, like as much as you want, mara, not too much, because then if there's a lot more your brows, how are you going to remove it? Otherwise it means it was near the brows. So you just take it nicely and make it flat like that. So I'm going to start on my right hand side, ne? Because I think it's the side okay, wait. Right. And then you go right underneath where you drew your boundary. You need this very nice straight clear cut, ne? So you go right underneath and then you follow your line. Then and then again you follow. You follow your line. So don't worry, you come back and clean that out. So guys, please, especially for this portion, just make sure hore, I prefer not coloring like that, ne. Ha ke fitla mo ke make sure hore ke tsamaisa my brush straight. Otherwise, if you keep stopping and being funny, it's going to come out funny on, ne. So don't do that. This is now when the brush comes in. You blend in your concealer on top of your eyelid. And then because you've gotten the shape that you want, come class, you can start bringing in your concealer there. You bring it in. You bring it in like that. So at least that part is right, ne? So now I'm gonna go on top. There was some round thickness going on here. I don't know what that was, but much like this side. So now I'm gonna go and draw on top, ne? Or rather conceal, not draw, sorry. I'm gonna go and conceal on top so that my brow sits nicely. So don't shade in, like make it go one nice cute line so that in. So also with this, Modim, I can remember when you were drawing the straight line, you started somewhere there, you gave it a few millimeters ahead. This time around with the concealer, you start from the very beginning of your brow and you take it all the way up, ne? So you start there and you make a straight line. Did you see? Agar, ne? Straight line, one time. And then you come back. We're going to also close in. So when you closing in the end part, wait, you follow that corner that I said you have, I get. So you let them meet there and then you take it down, right? Also straight. Now you curve it whenever you feel okay, now this is where I want my curve to be here, blah blah blah, right? So this is what I usually do. Take it away, or rather I also don't want my thing dirty. Okay, then I'll come back, and the reason why I'm redoing this part, I'm just removing excess concealer, not that I'm redefining my boundaries, I'm just removing excess concealer. Okay. And then I'm gonna blend it in with the rest of my face. So now, just to make sure that my line is straight there. So the corner is sharp, ne? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to round it off like that. And I don't have to reapply concealer on my brush when I'm rounding it off, because there's always some product left on your brush, ne? So you use what is on your brush when you round off. It's not necessary to apply concealer on your brush again. And the reason is, hook apply concealer on your brush, chances are it might be a lot. And then now if it's a lot, most of the time it gets stuck on your brows, ne? So you need to ensure it does not get stuck on your brows, ne? So the corner is no longer sharp. It's like a nice rounded corner. Whether you want it more rounded than this or whatever. You just make sure you still maintain your what is this? You still maintain your boundaries, ne? Uska di saying. Okay. Right. So that side is done. All cute, isn't it? Let's just fix that. All cute and done. So I'm almost out of concealer, ne? What I'm going to do is just add on just a bit of an addition there so that raska sokola. Now we go to the other side. Exactly the same principle. You apply some on your brush. Because I really, oh shame, shows me flames when I'm sitting. Let's just reposition nicely. Okay. Okay. I never ever draw my brows against so this is almost like a tsunami of some sort. I don't know. Okay. Still good. Ntse di brow di nyaka ntse o letsa pina o bina nyana because wow, hey, the drum. Okay, don't forget ne hore ke ritse for the portion e ya mo morago, you must make sure hore o tsamaisa brush ya hao straight ne. As soon as I hit that corner, I must make sure hore tsama straight, no pausing in between, right? Like that. And then let's just blend in. Re fokotse excess ne. So I ke re kwena tla bo o lebelletse hore o draw eng kae. So you'll know when to make additions, when to not make additions. You'll also know, okay, no addition. I can move on to the next part. So when you hit your corner there, don't forget what's straight, no pausing. Yeah? Okay, that's one yana. Eh? That's one yana. Let me put. Guys, wait a minute. Next one is like a lot. But anyway, so far so good this side, ne? So let's go to the upper boundary and we're almost done. So I was doing this a bit slower because I need to keep on talking in between. Usually, I think I'm quite quicker. Hey, yeah, no. straight like that. And don't forget, ne, gore the concealer will come from the beginning. Straight like that. Ne? And then you add more concealer onto your brush. We must do the final touches. So here, don't forget, you're going to connect that from the corner again, going down there, right? And then Lona with a straight like that, ne? And of course you remove the excess. And my corner is still very defined, ne? Very sharp. Can you see it? Still very sharp. But we're going to first fix that line, get it the way we want it. And then right, so now because kamu ke rounded off my corner, what you do on the right hand side, you do on the left hand side, ne? So I'm also going to round off that corner a bit, round it off nicely. I'm taking maths. Maths. What you do on the left, you do on the right. So you didn't do maths for no reason, ne? The principle applies here too. So I'm just doing that to remove the excess, ne? But my corner is now rounded. Can you see it? Both sides are rounded, ne? And there's also a bit of excess material there. Removing it. Remove everything excess. See, there's a bit of excess material there as well. And we are done. But this is not where it stops. Remember, you must also have a nice finishing here in between. So what I do usually is I take the remainder, ne? The remainder of the concealer on my hand, brushing, ne? Then I start go make a dot coming down like that. Usually not directly in between my brows, ne? Because I don't want a funny look. So I'm going to first use this portion, ne? This side of the beauty blender. Then I'll move on to the upper part, ne? So ketoma mongong going up like that, ne? You dab, you don't just wipe. So kiraso. And then here in between, nicely taking it up like that, ne? I don't want too much material in between, ne? So nicely taking it up, nicely taking it up, ne? Ha ke fetsa ha ke bona hore okay o ka re ya hlangana, then ke a ke ka this side, ne? To blend everything in and also in between, nicely like that, with a light tap, ne? Please, very light tap, with a very light tap like that. And then voila, your brows are done. So basically this is my way of drawing my brows. Of course, if this tutorial is a bit difficult, you can go ahead and watch other tutorials. One other technique the other day, underneath you draw your boundaries like I did, and then when you come to the top part, over say your nose, ne? The alar part of your nose, the top part, this part here, you draw a line there, and then in the middle of your ala, somewhere there, you find your corner, you draw a line there, and then the bottom part of your ala, get the corner of your eye there. So now, because I already know what I'm doing, I want it corresponds, it corresponds, it corresponds. So if you're finding it difficult, you can actually use the technique, the line, then just connect them and whatnot. But here we are, beautiful brows. Thank you for watching. Good night, ladies. Have fun drawing your brows. It's amazing stuff. Bye, Yella.